Alright, this video is to address some questions that I've been getting recently about how I am physically with CIDP, how much I've recovered, if I still have any nerve damage left, and to answer that question right in the beginning, I'm probably like 98-97% recovered, and the only 2 or 3% left is like my lower legs. That's pretty much it. I mean, my quads and hamstrings, they're a little bit weaker than they used to be, but not too terribly so. It really doesn't affect my daily life at all. I actually wrote down all the symptoms that I still experience on a day-to-day basis just because they're such small symptoms that I can't really come up with them off the top of my head because most of the time I actually forget that I have CIDP. Like it's just not something that really enters into my conscious mind, except for when I'm making videos about it or sharing something on social media, like the Facebook page or something like that. Most of the time I just forget that I had CIDP, and I think that not needing medication anymore is a really big really big component. There we go. Really big component of that. Of just like forgetting that I have disease, which is really cool. So one of the very small symptoms that I still have is that I still have some lower leg weakness. So that's like getting up on my tippy toes, dorsiflexion, eversion, inversion. Like I'm much more likely to roll my ankles. I actually roll my ankles like every couple months. I roll my ankles. So right now I'm actually focusing on doing some foot drills. I'm probably going to make a video about that sometime soon. But basically all I do for foot drills is I walk like 50 steps. I walk like up on my toes, like walk on my tippy toes, and I walk 50 steps like just on my heels, try not to let my toes touch the ground. I walk with like all the weight on like the outside of my foot. So like if this is your foot, I try to like walk like this for 50 steps, and then I walk like this for 50 steps, and then I walk with my feet pointed in for 50 steps, and then out for 50 steps. And then I just redo that whole process again. I started with just 50 steps, and then that got easy, so then I started doing like a second set. So that's literally all I do. I'm going to make a video about that showing you exactly what it looks like. I might have my other friend in that video showing what it's supposed to look like versus how I do it, because when I try to go on my tippy toes, you can't really tell that that's what I'm trying to do. But you got to start somewhere. So I would rather do those drills and not be very good at them, and a year later be really great at them, than not doing them at all. Because just because you can't do something now doesn't mean you can't do it later. So anyway, enough of that rant. Yeah, I still have lower leg weakness. It's kind of difficult sometimes when I have to reach something up high. If I'm trying to grab something at work or at home, wherever I am. A lot of times, you can be a little bit more creative, though, because instead of just saying, oh, I can't reach that, I try to go up on my tippy toes. I can go through, like, most of the range of motion, and I can't do it for very long, but, like, most of the time I can hold onto a wall, or I can hold onto a counter, help push myself up. Like, there's normally some way that you can go about your daily routine, just do it a little bit differently. Actually, I have a story about that. This past Halloween, I went back to Brockport, where I went to school. I went there for a Halloween party, and then the couch was taken at the end of the night, and I was not about sleeping on the floor, so I called up my friend, who lived like pretty close by, and he answered drunk. He was like, hello? He's like, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? He's like, I'm drunk in the dorms. And I was like, oh, so your bed is open then, right? He's like, yeah, but you're gonna have to go in the secret entrance. And I was like, oh man, what's the secret entrance? He's like, my window. Oh, the secret entrance is your window. So I had to break into my friend's room, but his window was just high enough so that I couldn't completely reach it just by climbing, because you don't realize how much you use your lower legs for climbing until you can't use them, really. So I just went about it a little bit differently than I would. I found something to step on. I just found a cooler that was on the front porch, put it under the window, climbed on it, and had a good night's rest when I would otherwise be sleeping on the floor. So that's just another story of how I just did something a little bit differently. So yeah, just lower leg weakness, like all around. Like I said, I roll my ankles like every couple weeks or a couple months. It's really annoying. It's very frustrating. That's probably like the worst symptom that I still have, is just like lower leg weakness. That's about the only thing that sort of affects me a little bit, just getting injured more often. And I think since I do have nerve damage, and since my lower legs especially are weaker, and I have rolled my ankles, if you know anything about having rolled or sprayed ankles, you're more likely to roll them and sprain them again the more often you roll them and sprain them. So it just sucks. It only gets worse and worse every time you roll or sprain your ankles. So another part of that is like I can't really sit with like my feet under me. Like that's really uncomfortable if I try to sit like that, or if I try to sit like this. Like like it just hurts my ankle just doing that, or like trying to do like a butterfly stretch like this. Like I can't do that. Like when I get up to stretch my groin, I have to like go like that or like that. Like I can't sit down and stretch both sides at once. So again, it's a very small symptom to have. This is not really something that affects me that much. Another thing is like I still walk a little bit funny. Maybe I'll show a video right now of me walking. It's not really something that I notice, because to me I'm just walking, and to my friends, I think a lot of my friends that I've actually made since having CIDP, they've only known me walking like that. I think they probably just think that I just kind of walk funny. You know, they don't really, a lot of people don't really, I think that it's I'm limping or it's because of something. I think like sometimes you just see someone and they just look like they walk kind of funny because that's just who they are. And most people that I meet in my day-to-day life, they don't mention anything about it. I've had one person ask me, and that was a couple years ago when it was even more pronounced. So that's about it. And for like the walking, and then I also have in my feet, in my toes, I really don't have like any numbness or tingling. I guess I have like a little bit of tingling in my toes, but I really don't notice it most of the time. But if I do drop something on my toes or my foot or something, or if I stub my toes or something like that, like it hurts a lot more than it used to, and it hurts for a lot longer than it used to. Like I don't have to hit my toes on anything like very hard, and it just hurts way more than it used to. So that's something that really sucks. But again, it could be a lot worse. It was a lot worse, and it's a lot better. So I'm glad that these are the very small symptoms that I still have. I think that's about it. Like those are really the only symptoms that I have, other than like maybe when I go work out in the gym. Like I can't squat nearly as much as I used to. But I'm not going to let that deter me from not working out at all. I'd rather squat 115 pounds than not squat at all, and later on in life be a lot weaker because I have nerve damage and just because I'm older and have atrophy. Like I would rather just have to work harder and be as strong as I would be, like, say I didn't work out. So I think that's about all of the symptoms that I have. If you guys have any more questions, post them down below. I'd love to answer them. I'm pretty good about answering things, especially if you want to connect with me via Facebook. That's probably the best way to keep in touch with me. If you have any more questions you want to ask, like personally, message me in the Facebook group, No Egg Craig. I get back to people pretty soon. You can follow me on Instagram. I actually have a Skype account called Battling CIDP. That was my old channel name. It's Battling, BATTLING, CIDP. I don't really ever go on that unless somebody messages me on Facebook saying, hey, I want to Skype with you at X time. And keep in mind, I'm in, Eastern Mountain Time? I think that's what it is. Because I live in Syracuse, New York. So I've Skyped with a couple people who have CIDP who had questions. I'm more than happy to help. If you have any questions like that, if you're ever in the area, hit me up on Facebook, and I'd love to meet up with somebody else who has CIDP if anyone has questions or wants to meet someone who is positive with CIDP, meet someone who has recovered well with CIDP. I'm just I'm just really happy to meet people. I guess I'm rambling now. So anyway, contact me if you have any more questions. Leave some comments down below, and I'll see you next video.